So look, I've had the good fortune of spending a couple decades. It's easier to say a couple of something versus the number of years. So bear with me. And run some very interesting businesses at these companies that you see up there. And at every one of these businesses, I've had the good fortune of working with many partners that enabled these businesses to function really well. And that's what excites me the most about the space that we are in today. I come to IBC because this excites me when I see new products, when I see new opportunities, and I think, imagine what can happen. Many of you, when I heard the previous speakers and I see the big names, they sit upon the backs, the shoulders. How does that work? Whatever the fabulous saying is. Because these names wouldn't want football and BN and BritBox, and actually even Amazon Prime Video wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for many of the product solutions that exist. So that's what we will talk about.
And I wanted also to do a chart because otherwise then it dominates the thing. So, and my chart is just because at some point Soumya will mention, okay, it was a Prime Video and we were doing that and we were doing this. So this is the number of engineers that are focusing on the streaming side, on the product side. So you understand that if you're on the left side, you can decide, oh, let's count the hair, not in my case, of the customers. And someone that in the Amazon ecosystem goes, yeah, well, let's pop up it, let do it, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, anybody else need partners with already established product platform. And we heard from JP and from Yannick, there are certain areas that you don't want to start from scratch, otherwise you won't be in business. So, but that's a small chart just to remember people about that. So I want to talk about basically three things using Soumya experience. The first one is subscription sophistication, or the sophistication that because of different, if you want, evolution, we now have the moment we start managing monetization in general, subscription and retention in particular. I know you have gone through and maybe some of the experiences can be useful for other people here.
I'll share some of the things that I know you all know very well, and many of the charts actually laid it out. You all know this. Churn is voluntary churn, involuntary churn. Subscription platforms do an amazing job at managing involuntary churn. I think they're up there. On voluntary churn can again be split up into three things. I would say offer churn, reactive churn, and revenue churn. Technically, broadly, they would all fall into this. And offer churn is what you see with, I'm not going to go beyond my free trial. I signed up for that game, I'm out. There was a 99-cent channel promotion for 3 months, I'm out. That's what that is. Reactive churn is also something that we all do this. Oh, the Game of Thrones season's ended, I'm now going to go to Yellowstone. I'm now going to come back for Squid Game season 4. I am going to talk a little bit more about that. And finally, revenue churn, also very important. People are constantly going between different levels, right? They're going down to an ad-supported, I'm going to go to a telco-supported, right? When I saw Ben's chart on Disney, I realized some of what's happening in this is that in the US, a large portion of the ad-supported offers are available as an add-on to Spectrum, as an add-on to T-Mobile. And those are all things that people are either not activating or they're choosing to do something else. Right. So these are, I was going to ask show of hands. Now, I know it's difficult with all of you standing around. How many of you have at least 5+ subscription services? And I don't mean video. It could be New York Times. Look at that. It's like, and this is the scary part. But how many of you in at least a quarter are thinking of doing something with it?
Meaning?
That I'm going to downgrade, upgrade,
Okay.
change. Yeah, see, only the one hand went up, or a couple hands. And this is the difficult part of managing services, and you need solutions to help you be a part of this journey with you. By the way, that's what I thought I was doing with Prime Video. I absolutely believed the fact that running Prime Video channels meant I was solving everyone's subscription problems. I was creating others, but in the process, I thought I was solving a big pain point for many of us, right? But I think that in today's day and age, there is enough data available in the world on all of us, that the solutions that exist today can intervene, can engage us in a more relevant manner. And I think that's what excites me about
And
technology.
if you have, so that's okay. If you have any question on the vendor side for subscription, is there anything that you were missing? Is there anything that you would ask more from subscription platform?
So here's another stat that you might have missed in all the wonderful information that Ben was sharing. When Ben showed you the churn on Netflix, it's 2%. Okay, 2% on a monthly basis is 24% in a year. When he showed you what the retention was on each of the games, it was 50% in a year. That's more than twice their average churn. They just released a stat it might have been just a month ago actually. Their average cost of acquisition is now $100 per person. This is Netflix. So can you imagine when you've lost 50%? By the way, this is a general stat. The stars of the world lose 100% of their customers in any given year, and they're requiring more. The average subscriber resubscribes to something within a year, within 12 months. So, and I say average because it's 50%, that's the number. The number today is 50% of the people that cancel will resubscribe within a year. This is not fun for any of us. It's not fun for us, it's not fun for the subscription management services, but I say this because you have the opportunity to allow me to pause. You have the opportunity to allow me to basically go on almost a hibernation of sorts. I'm willing to pay you 50 cents until the next season comes around. Right? Don't make me put my credit card in again. Don't make me go through all of that rigmarole. Don't get me sold again to the new T-Mobile that's going to come and tell me, oh, now sign up with me. Why are you going to Paramount Direct? And there's all of these things all of this noise that's happening in the market that can get subverted by a more sophisticated subscription management engine. Equally, there's one other thing that happens in all of us. How many emails do any of you get from all of the subscriptions you have in any given day? I'm going to start with 2. Wow, I'm surprised. Watch the show. This is the new thing that's out. By the way, usually what I find is most of us is getting at least 4 emails a day from the likes of HBO, Netflix, Disney, name the person. They're either trying to tell you, here's a show, they're trying to tell you, you were watching this, did you forget? Pick up again. Oh, here's a related show to something else you watched. Why am I telling you this? Equally, there's other emails that are being sent to you about your credit card expiring on this payment. Can you update it? You just renewed. Guess what? Both of these are coming from 2 completely different places. One is coming from a marketing management system that sits within a completely different part of the org. The other is coming from a subscription management platform that comes from a different part of the org. If these 2 knew how to talk to each other, they'd be that much more powerful. I struggle with this at Amazon too.
So
Because-
you're advocating for subscription management platform and martech to be more joint.
I am.
Okay, so we have work to do. Or you did a bit already, I don't know.
I am, and I think that there's an opportunity for you to then send more subscription relevant messaging versus an engagement relevant messaging. Because the core job that every subscriber is trying to do is acquire, and they will say acquire customers, but really what they mean is keep customers, because all they're trying to do is fill the funnel, because you're losing so many constantly. But if you kept them, you wouldn't need to fill as much on top. And that would happen better if your engagement was a key part of your retention story.
Yes, some work to be done. Second thing is, as everybody talks about, AI role in retention, how it's a real opportunity. I think the example, not the hair, but the LLM things, you have a story about that. So there's some real stories in that.
I do. So you've heard this ad nauseum now. So I will share a couple of things that we did, and maybe they weren't even called LLMs in those days. But it was the idea of scraping someone's active search behaviors to dynamically surface you push notifications and or insert them into your CRM messaging. It made a world of difference versus a cookie cutter messaging which said, hey, my new season of da-da-da is coming out. Or the very standard thing that we all are now familiar with, right? Which is, here are your recommended shows. I'm going to tell you the standard messaging that I have, and then I'm going to insert in this row of things that's customized to you. You've all seen this. The thing that we found made a difference is customizing it using search terms that we know you are using. You're using it, we know it from the pixels that we have scraped, we know it from what's happened in platform. Right? When we used that to speak to you in a personal way, it improved open, click-through rates, and retention. That's one example. This is Amazon, by the way. And the other example that I want to quote, which was also mega interesting for me, was using, in those days, again, I don't know that I called it Gen AI, but this is actually QVC, where we took the standard 8-minute video and created a short form, a 30-second clipping using calls to action. Right? So you can edit it on the fly and you can resurface it for another platform. Right? But equally integrated on the back end. And now, I mean, I don't know if you've all seen it, but I just saw Prime Video do it, right? It says AI suggested highlights from the episode. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. Watching, I can't remember what show I was watching just last week. And it literally has a little blurb. And it says, this is the highlight from the show, from this episode that you now need to watch. So it's happened to you, it's happened to me, where I will turn on the TV and sometimes I'll fall asleep, I'll forget to pause, and I've forgotten where I'm at. And rather than rewind, tell me where to go. And I bring up these because these are all so critical in the way you have to engage with all of us, me, you, each of us. Each of us is guilty of churning out and churning in.
And the last thing, we already talked a bit about it, and Leon will also bring an example. This pseudo, I think it's happening, but is it really happening? Creators and smaller, if you want, entities creating their own D2C app. Not only going, and I know you're working with creators, so that's the story I want to know. How do you think this may need a democratization of subscription platforms in a way? So I want to create my own app, I want easily to put on a subscription engine, I don't want to develop for 10 years to do it, because I don't have the money to do it.
Absolutely. Okay, Substack subscriptions, anyone?
A guy with a scar from Substack. Pay or free.
Hey, look, I wasn't going to let him do this.
My first paid subscriber.
mean, honestly, yearly pay subscription. Sorry.
That is creator, right? That's why I brought it up. And I'm sure you all saw this a week ago, Vox now is, they're calling it membership, but they've essentially gone subscription. Right? And I don't know if you noticed this, but the interesting part of what they said was they said that their big names, their big journalists, will be behind an extra premium pay. Right? This is the world we live in, whether we like it or not. This is what you're all seeing in the Substack is just the first level. The inevitable journey of this is video. The inevitable journey of this is a subscription engine to keep your customers in your world. It's going to happen. It's going to happen from the written word to the spoken word podcasts, which have a different form of distribution. But video is the holy manna, right? So, and I think that it's hard to do this. So I will share another story with you, which is I founded BritBox. When I founded BritBox, and I did the business plan in 2013 at the BBC. And at that point, there was risk averseness, as there is in many companies, about going D2C. And one of the things that I wrote in my business plan then was I said, I hypothesized that there would be 3 phases to streaming. I said the first one is what I call proliferation of niches, because technology is commoditized. I said anybody who has content, if you're not getting your own app up right now, you're losing the game. Phase 2, I said, would be the richest of brands. The ones that will manage to stay standing will be the ones that have brands to stay standing. And I said phase 3, but because I ran out of things to rhyme with niches and riches, I said was simply called reaggregation. And I hypothesized that reaggregation would happen at a software level. And that's why when Amazon came knocking, I went to Amazon, right? And I was so pleased to see the previous speaker put up the whole channel aggregation in there. And I was like, this is going to happen. I'm not convinced that it's still mature and it's ripe for the way we customers are using it, but it's inevitable. But the most underpinning part of all of this is the payment engine. If you cannot get the payment and the way you keep people in your world working and humming, you've lost the plot. What's the point of creating all of this? I am sorry, despite all of the money that YouTube makes, I think you all know how many creators actually make money from YouTube. So I'm not gonna go there. Nor am I gonna go where, what's happening with TikTok. You all know this. But it is so important these days for creators to go D2C. Because if you don't own your destiny in a world that's giving you all the tools to be able to do it, who are you waiting for?
Amen. I'm not ready. Thank you.